Hello, Mike German here from Visual Animation. So we've got a bit of a special, as you can see from the thumbnail and the video that you've just seen. I'm going to try something this month, which is hopefully going to include help from other people and from around the world. You know, it's very easy to sit here in the UK and do some designing, and hopefully people will look at your tutorials, and that's great. But I thought, wouldn't it be great if we could work on the same file, if we could do something the same, you know? So basically what you've just seen is a file that I've put together, which is essentially like an art installation in a modern art gallery. Okay. So I wanted it to be like a blank canvas. I want it to be very simple, like concrete urban background and this giant art. Okay, so we're going to be creating some art, and I thought, right, let's just use the word art. And I thought, okay, let's do it like it's something to go and see, you know, like it's in an exhibition. So it's, you know, you imagine it in a massive gallery, and it's this big like cage and this massive word art, and something happens to that word art. Okay, bear with me. So I thought that I've played around with a few simulations in cinema, and hopefully you have too, and I just wanted something really simple that we could all use, so we don't have to create different scenes. We can work on the same scene, and we can just see where our creativity goes, because, you know, YouTube reaches the world. You know, I'm not saying I've got thousands of subscribers just yet. It'd be nice to have that many people watch this, but, you know, I've got enough people, I think, to start this off, and it'd just be really interesting to see how I interpret that word art using Cinema 4D and all of its simulation stuff, and how somebody in another country would see this, and with other talents. And what I was hoping is we could all have a little go over time, you know, over the next month, come up with something that you're happy with, and then render it, upload it to a file sharing site, you know, or we transfer it, something like that, and send me the link, and then I will make another video all about this with your videos in them, or it may even be a video that you send me per video, you know, and we'll feature them and we'll discuss them and have comments on them. So I thought that'd just be a really nice way to do it, you know, where we all look at how we interpret that same space. So below this video there is a link to my Gumroad website, which has got this scene of this art in the gallery as a free download. Okay, you can just, let me just show you. Let's just go straight there. It's a lot easier sometimes just to go there and show it rather than explain it. So if you click the link below, it will take you to this page. Okay, and here that I've set it at £0. Okay, and it says name a fair price. So if you wish to pay more than £0 for this, that's entirely up to you, but you can have this file on me, because I want you to work on this so we all have the same file. I don't need to, you know, have this as a chargeable file, but the idea is it's just to get a community of people around the world all working on something in a very, very different way. Okay, so what we do is we come to this page and you just simply type a 0 in there, so name it, you know, 0 is a fair price under these conditions, and just click this, I want this. Okay, and it will go through like a little processor, say that it's $0 or whatever you've got this set up at, and it says on mine's a test purchase, you know, because I'm the creator, but you'll just have like something to fill in. Let me just have a quick drink, because I've actually had COVID recently, believe it or not, and, you know, I cough now and again in these videos, but I've got a feeling it might happen more in this one, so I'm going to keep drinking and hopefully it won't happen. Okay, so basically you will probably fill in some details at this stage, but it won't charge you anything. And once you've done that, you click on get, it will process it, and it will come to this page, which will then say you can download your BIG C4D ART Challenge blank canvas. Okay, so let's just do the same. Click on that, and it will come up here that's saying it's downloaded, so open file. So I'll do exactly the same as what you will get as well. Makes it a lot easier to do it. Okay, it looks like it's opening in the background, so let's go back. Here we go, look. So there we go. So that is what you're going to get. So let's just have a quick run through of what this is. If we look over here, look, we've just got just a few notes from me here about what this is all about and, you know, what I'm asking you to do. So you can have a little read of that. And then description of art on the next null down here. That's basically just this panel here. All right. So when you come up with a title for your masterpiece and your artist is you fill that in here. Look. So you click on it and you go enter art text here, look, and it goes to the text tool and just type in your name of your art here. So I'll just put test art or something, I don't know. Type it in there. Let's do it in capitals as well. Let's go back, test art, click off, and that'll fill it in over here, look. And then just click on enter your name and just put my name in there. Okay, so there we go. That's the first thing. Just name your art and put your name on it. So it's like a little plaque and your art that you're about to display. Right, so we can close that one up. Studio, I've just included this backdrop which I've locked, and I've got a collider on that. So anything that happens here will collide with this scene. So that's already set up. There's an ambient reflection using an HDRI file here, which is again is locked. So it just gives some reflections back into the scene if you're using metals and shiny materials. So you can leave that as is. And then I'll put a camera in as well. Now you can change the camera, but I suggest for this that we want to keep as much consistency as possible on the view, on the blank canvas side of this, so we all have the same view, we all have the, you know, so when the videos come out we've got the same look each time. So I would suggest we keep the camera, which I've locked, but obviously you can unlock these or put more cameras in, but I suggest we keep it. So lighting, what I've done is I've got a main room light and I've got 3 coloured spotlights which go over the top of each letter. So if I just run this, you'll see that these lights appear, look, and it's a little bit like being on stage. You know, they'll just move around and highlight some letters, and they're controlled by these vibrate tags. So again, you can alter these, you can have them moving quicker or slower, you can have their positions moving around, but I just thought, you know, they're just rotating around on the axis looking at the letters, so that's not a bad thing. You can keep those, but you can change the colour. You know, we've got that one in as orange and green and blue, so you just do whatever your scene needs. You don't even have to use all the spotlights, you could just use one main spotlight. So it's just a suggestion really of lighting, but by all means use your own lighting. Now then, this is the next 2 are the bits that we're going to be doing all of the dynamics on to make this into a piece of art, which is the block text, which if I turn off the cage, right, so the block text is simply, let me just move it and show you, it's just these letters. So if I just open into there, you've got an A, an R and a T, which are separate, so you can have these have different treatments on them. Okay, they're totally separated and they've already been subdivided up equally across as well. So that's what's in there. And in the cage, let's just open that up and let's just turn off the other one. In the cage I've simply, now if I'm just going to choose another camera just to show you what happens close up here. Okay, so the cage is just a steel mesh cage which has been splined and sweeped, sorry, an end side and spline sweeped onto these shapes, giving you this this cage. Okay, and that's been excuse me, that spline has been made from this block text. That's why it copies it. Okay, so if we turn them both on, you see they both fit. Right, so these are the two areas that you can adjust. All right, let's turn that camera off now and go back to the studio camera, the locked one. There we go. So we're back to our original position. So this is where it's up to you. You can do anything now. You can add any effect in the simulation menu or any part of cinema to any of these letters and the cage itself. So you can have the cage move around. It can react with what's happening inside. It can be solid. It can do anything really. This is completely down to you how you want this to look. So what we'll do then is we'll just pick one of the examples that I've done, and just to show you how I tackled it, just to give you a few ideas or some inspiration. So that's this one. Let me just show you the first one that I did, and that is this effect. So what this is doing is it's using cloth, and it's using some inflation, and it's using a vertex map to take a point on here and then grow across the entire word, which is why you're getting this let's just go back, which is why you're getting this inflation, and it's coming across the whole word. Okay, so it's starting at one point in the bottom here, in the bottom of the A, and the vertex map is growing across the whole word. Okay, so to get this effect, let's start with the blank screen that we have here. So this will be exactly what you'll be starting with. So let's see how we can create that look on here. Right then, so first thing we do is we're actually going to be affecting all of the letters, the A, R and the T, with this balloon cloth effect. So we don't need to keep them separate. You know, they're separated so you can do different effects with them, but for this we can highlight them all, right click and connect objects and delete, and then we can just rename that art. Okay, so we just got one word. Then we right click and we go to simulation, and then we add in balloon. So if I just press play now, let's rewind, what's going to happen? Not much at all. Look, it's just literally not doing anything really. It's just kind of falling out and nothing's reacting to anything, and it's not really doing anything. So how do we do that? Now, first of all, before we can do much here, we need to interact it with the cage. Now the cage at the moment doesn't have any colliders or dynamics on it, but in my example here, the cage is very much moving around. Okay, there's bits breaking off and it's very interactive. So how do we make the cage move around like this rather than just be a solid piece? So what we do is go on Spline, right click, simulation, rope. Okay, now to make this work as rope, now if I just press play again, you'll see it just all breaks up. Okay, it's not held together, it just breaks up into individual lines. So the way we keep that together is we have to add a connector to it. So we right click, go to simulation, and we go to connector. And down here you'll see it says same object, because obviously it is the same object, it's connecting to the same object. So we click on that one, and then we can uncheck other objects, and then we can then click and check update live. And as soon as we do that, we get these little dots appear all over it. That means all of these intersections now on this rope, on this spline, have now all made a connection, so they've all joined together. So if we now play it now, we get a lot better effect happening, because it's all holding together. You know, the dynamics on the inside of the balloon, and now the rope connected together are now all moving as one. Okay, so it's not a bad effect. But we can do a little bit more with this, because at the moment it's just kind of hovering around. Let me just check the scene. Yeah, we've got no gravity on the scene. I've set it like that for you, so you've got no gravity. But in your Control D project settings, you can add gravity back in. If you add gravity back in, basically this whole thing will just fall down like that. Okay, so it's just all squidging and landing on the floor. So at the moment we're keeping it as 0 because we want some different effects to happen. So basically it's just, right, so we've got the rope set up now. That is going to collide with the rope. But we need to do a little bit more now with the balloon. The balloon's not really doing anything. It's not really distorting or interacting very well with the background. So what we do is we need to have a look at a few things here. We want to add a bit more bendiness into this because it's very static. It's not really doing anything. So let's put in, something like 555, a really big number. And stretchiness about 5. And we also want to have a look, have a look at target length. Now, if we increase target length, it's going to add more material, more length in what is like a block of material. It's going to, if you say put 150 in, it's going to half it again and add another half the amount of material into the scene. So we'll try 150. We've got balloon. Now balloon is only pressuring it up to 1, which is stabilizing at the same volume. So we need to add more. If you add too much, it can distort. So what we do is we just do this gently, really. We just want to add pressure gently. So we do something like 1.3, and let's do it over a longer period of time. So 60 frames is equivalent to 2 seconds if you're doing a 30 frame per second video. So let's just see what that does. Now I'm just thinking if there's, at the moment it's just going to inflate all at the same time, and we need an effect where it grows on. But I'll just let's have a look at what this does. Okay, so it's instantly, because the target length has been set to just be 150. It really needs to transition. Now you can either do it by keyframing this from 100% up to 150 over certain frames, or if we use a vertex map, it will transition slowly anyway, so it probably won't have the same problem as this because it will go very slowly across it. So let's have a look at putting a vertex map in first and see what we get. Right, so click on art, which is our word. We right click, other tags, and then we go vertex map, and it should go red. And then click on the icon here for the vertex map, and then say use fields, and then click on freeze, and we want the mode to be grow because we actually want this to grow from one point across the word to the end. Right. We're going to control this with a field, so let's just put in a spherical field, and straight away that you can see that an area goes yellow. Let's bring that size down, and let's move it out the way like that. Okay, we're going to use this field to activate this growing effect across the lettering. Okay, so if we go back to the beginning here with the timeline at 0, and we hit a keyframe now for this spherical field, and then we go forward about 3 or 4 frames, just push it forward like that, and then we bring the spherical field over to there and then keyframe it. Okay, so what we're going to do, we're going to use this vertex map to control how this inflates, because at the moment it just inflates all over straight away. Okay, and it's blowing up, it's trying to do half again size, and it's inflating target length. It's all going a bit crazy and it's breaking everywhere. So we're going to control that with this vertex map. So if we click on the cloth expression, the little balloon icon, there's now places all the way over here that we can twirl down, and it's asking for a map, which is a vertex map. So we can control all of these areas now with this vertex map. So we can drop it in there, we can drop it in mix animation. This is where we need to do it, because at the moment it's all activating. It's all coming on, it's all cloth, it's all blowing up. So if we do mix animation with pins, we're saying we're going to pin it all down, nothing's going to move. The only thing that's going to move is when we drop in the vertex map here. When the vertex map goes yellow, that will be affected by cloth. The cloth will affect on that yellow part. So if I click on that, and I'll show you, this will move across. Okay, as it moves across, this yellow is now going to be activated, and it's going to grow just here, look, with a radius of 10 and effect strength of 100. It might be too quick. We might need to take that down a little bit. But if I just play this, look, you'll see that this yellow is now growing across this word. And what's happening is this distortion and everything is now, I'm just thinking, has that got every part of it? We could probably stick the vertex map in target length as well, because the target length was getting bigger all over, and we want to control this to only get bigger and only get bendy when the vertex map is allowing that to happen. So let's try it again. Okay. Right, so if I click on vertex map, you'll see that wherever the yellow is, it's affecting. Now this is looking a little bit spiky at the moment, and not very good on geometry. There's not enough of it. So all we need to do is on the word art, if we just hold down Alt and click on subdivision, and then it will smooth it all out with more subdivisions. So as you can see, that it's inflating and it's pulling and it's coming all the way across until it reaches the T, and then it's affecting the T. Right, so all of the letters now have had this inflation now, and the cage, because it's rope, it's bending with it. Now it's very uniform for me. Okay, the rope mesh is very clean, and on my example here, if we can go back to, yeah, this one, if I just pause this just here, as you can see that the cage or the rope is all broken, it's all spread apart differently, it's all random, and it looks really quite organic and nice. Now if you look at this one, it's all neat, it's not breaking, the lines are all perfect. How do we make this look a little bit more messed up? You know, as this kind of inflation is happening, how do we break this and make it all different? Right, so what you do is on Spline, for the cage spline, we add a displacer. So if we do, if you hold down Shift and have displacer as a child, we're then going to use noise in the shader, where it says shader here. We're going to add noise. As soon as we add noise, it changes this mesh. You see? But we can make it look a little bit better. It's a little bit zigzaggy. So if we go on noise, and then we choose sparse convolution, and then we do the global scale to about 300. And now, if we go back to the beginning, as you can see, look, we've got a very random, broken look just here, look, all the way across. So it doesn't look nice and neat, it looks like it's been damaged. And now when you press play, we've got a much more fluid look and broken look to these lines. The other thing we can do, now it's rope, so if we click on rope, we've got a tearing option. So we can click on that and activate, let's try 120, might need to go a bit higher actually, it might break too soon. But as you can see here, look, it's actually, as it's inflating, it's breaking part of the rope. Okay, it's breaking the seams. Now we've got to see it's probably breaking too much of it because it's just pushing it away. So let's just keep that about 150 and try again. We're trying to find a sweet spot where it will break bits of it, but not all of it. This is what we're trying to do. Just have bits of it break when it gets too pressured. So bits of the rope kind of snap off and hang. And so is that actually breaking any? Maybe we go down a little bit more. Try 140. Let's see what we get on that one. But it's different every time. Every time you run the simulation, you'll get a different result. And if you go to Control D, your project settings, and go to simulation, we've got 20 sub-steps and 1 iteration. Now we could say put 5 sub-steps and 20 iterations and then run that, and we're probably going to get a different result. One might be faster, one might just give you a much more realistic look or something you're after. See, that is giving me a different look to what I had before, just by changing things here. Sub-steps, iterations, yeah, let's just try bringing that up even more. See if we get a look we want. So you just got to try lots of things. Just keep trying these things until you go, that is what I want it to do. That is the look I'm after. And you'll probably find it's a combination of changing here, changing sub-steps and iterations and collisions, and on the balloon itself where you put the vertex map in, excuse me, how much of balloon inflation you've got, how much target length is, being used there. If you put in 200, and then we do this again, obviously it's going to make twice as much material, but the material will be baggier because there's less inflation going into it, so you'll get a very different look. And if we obviously, if we bring that down to say just 110, so it's not got much extra material in there, there'll be more inflation, there'll be more stretchy inflation and less bagginess in the material. You see, there's hardly any extra material now, it's all just been inflated. So I hope that helps. That's one effect, having the cage move around, acting more like a mesh netting or something like that, like contained in this kind of inflating letter. And there's other examples. Let me just go back and see, just show you a couple more from the test here. We've got this one, which it breaks and flops down. Similar idea, but the inflation then actually breaks the cloth. And another one that I've just been working on, let's see, actually I'll just show you, yeah, this one, where it literally just drops out. It might happen a little bit too quick. I might have the concrete stay there a bit longer, but it's a nice effect, right? And the lighting from these spotlights above are really making this look really nice, this concrete. And then it just splashes. Look at that, it's a really quite nice effect, isn't it, where it just all splashes out the bottom and disappears all off, and there's bits of it left in the cage. It's quite a nice effect, right? So I'll probably show you that in another video. I don't want this to go on and on and on. I just wanted to give you the idea here that you can take part if you wish. The files are on my Gumroad. The link is below this video. Get creative. Just have a go. Just try everything. It doesn't matter if you mess it up. Download the file. save it as something else, try it. If it messes up, go back to the original, have another go. That's what I do. I just keep trying things out. You know, inflate stuff, pop stuff, set fire to stuff. You know, have the cage move, have the cage like rope, have it split and tear. There's another one that I was doing here, which has like a cloth over it, look, which is just kind of got this kind of stickiness, so the cloth kind of pulls in and then it starts ripping around the cage. There's so many things you can try. Give it a go. When you're happy with some crazy thing that you've done, render it and put it up on something like, I don't know, Google Drive or, you know, WeTransfer, something like that, and get a link to me, and I will feature these on my channel, and then we can all discuss your different experiences with this, with creating this art. My name is Mike German. I am going to now go and relax and not talk for a while. Yeah, the COVID's kind of got to me a bit on the dry throat and all of that stuff. So probably not the best thing to be doing right now, but I thought I'd do this anyway because I haven't done a video for a while. So I'm hoping it helps you. Please leave comments below. Please subscribe if you wish as well. And like and all of that good stuff, and it helps my channel grow, and I'll do more and more of this stuff for you. I'll speak to you very soon in the next video. My name is Mike German. Take care. Goodbye for now.